As British Rail moves towards the new century, the possibility of a fully electrified network becomes a reality. But today's services of efficient high-speed diesel trains will no doubt see out the 20th century, with already established intercity links which have few equals around the world of railways. Add to these the cross-country routes which serve less densely populated areas. A pattern emerges which combines economy with the needs of the traveller. A fact not always considered by the fare-paying passenger whose train may be running 10 or 15 minutes behind time. Explaining that making these connections with other services at any of the previous stops may have accounted for this finds little or no sympathy. Nevertheless, examples of such services provide the traveller arriving by boat at Harwich with a link across the whole of England and a large part of Scotland to Stranraer Harbour. A journey from Lee to Larne need be no more daunting as that from Lerwick to Liskeard.
And yet operating such a route calls for skills and efficiency from both stations and train staff, dependent on a fleet of diesel locomotives now pruned of earlier and unsuitable classes. Types which are well able to handle passenger and bulk freight over long distances, despite the spread of our motorway network. The selected recordings may be said to be typical of any 24-hour period on British Rail. Mainline services can only operate after humble duties such as shunting coaches has been performed. And empty stock workings are equally as important as parcel or freight trains. So too are trains of coal and fuel oil, feeding the needs of our industries above all the atmosphere that abounds the railways and travel, as people serve people. The station announcer advising passengers or apologising for a delay, train crews waiting their next turn of duty, and variety of locomotives that is to be found, all in a diesel day.
The day begins at Leeds Station, now deserted except for a two-car DMU at a distant platform. Behind a train of parcel vans standing on the station avoiding line, a Class 37 idles at the head of a train of long-wheelbase tank wagons. At last the signal clears and the train moves away into the darkness of Whitehall Junction. Wheel flanges shriek in protest, leaving traces of sparks outlining the train across the station layout.
A busy period at Doncaster despite the early hour. Heavy snow has fallen and only 3 days to Christmas has brought the annual build-up of traffic. 46029 has lost time on the journey from King's Cross and is now 25 minutes late departing for the north. Just as the train leaves, 47319 passes with a southbound train of MGR wagons and stops on the centre road. Buffers and brakes add background atmosphere to the winter scene.
Soon to be withdrawn from service and reduced to running on one engine, Deltic Class 55008, the Green Howards, struggles hard to restart a King's Cross to Aberdeen sleeper away from Platform 8 at Doncaster.
As the temperature drops further, 46052 draws up at Doncaster with a heavy parcel train. The relief crew, anxious to be out of the cold, quickly climb aboard and with the signal already showing green, are soon away towards York and the north.
(31244) departs from Platform 4 at Doncaster, heading a King's Cross to Bradford train. At the same time, sister class 31133 moves away light engine after leaving a parcels van on the centre road.
Daylight and the location is again Doncaster, but now the month is October and a failure on the main line has caused a build-up of passengers. The station announcer is advising travellers of changes to trains as 31424 starts out with a busy cross-country service from Grimsby to Manchester via Sheffield.
Humble duties, but every bit as important to successful railway operation. 08331 collects parcel vans at Doncaster and shunts them into the bay platform as 37031 runs light engine through the station and away to the north on colliery duties.
The spa town of Chelmsford boasts a splendid service of through trains from the north and Midlands to Bristol and the southwest, a legacy of earlier days when competing lines vied for the visitors taking the waters. Now only the former Midland Railway Station remains, where 45138 departs on the journey to Bristol with the 1117 from Birmingham New Street.
Introduced in 1982 to represent British Rail's new image for the 80s and beyond, 58001, the first in the class, having been stopped by signals at Doncaster, moves slow away towards Shaftholme Junction with a loaded trains of MGR wagon. A second crew in the cab take the opportunity of familiarising themselves with new controls, including the horn.
The importance of coal traffic to British Rail is nowhere more apparent than at Doncaster, where loaded and empty trains pass in around-the-clock operation to feed the national power stations. 56086, a class that has almost monopolised coal traffic, starts away from the North Station signal with yet another load for Thorpe Marsh Power Station.
Since the opening of the Birmingham and Gloucester Railway in 1840, operating trains up the one in 37 Lickey Incline has always been a problem, requiring most trains to be assisted by a banking locomotive. 31311, heading a goods train, has lost power, and two Class 20 locomotives, 20110 and 20187, have been sent to help. At Bromsgrove, 37129 and 37248 join the cavalcade at the rear to begin the ascent. As the gradient stipends at Burcott, the banking locomotives have to increase power to keep the heavy train moving.
Under the cavernous roof at Bristol Temple Meads, an HST unit leaves for London. At the same time, 33034 arrives from Portsmouth and slowly draws forward in Platform 8 to a background of muffled station announcements. For a moment, the powerful Sulzer engine dominates the scene as passengers make their way to other connections or the ticket barrier.